A tavola, come to the table, come now. You know, this is something that you feed people with love through food. And I think the Italian women do that the best. You know, they are just il migliore. They're the best at providing love and food to people.
This is Kathy McCabe. Welcome to the Dream of Italy podcast. You know me from the PBS travel series Dream of Italy and the award-winning website and publication. Join me as we explore the sights and sounds of Bella Italia. From the canals of Venice to the piazzas of Puglia, from the fashion houses of Milan to the vineyards of Tuscany. Hop on, it's gonna be a great ride. Andiamo! First, some words from our podcast sponsors. Inspired by Italy, Fruits and Passion Cucina's olive oil-based dish soaps, hand soaps, lotions, and kitchen mists have been elevating kitchens for nearly 3 decades. Save 15% at fruitsandpassion.com with the promo code DREAMOFITALY15. Mistolino, offering the finest in luxury European bedding and high-quality Italian ceramics. Family run for more than 25 years, the owners work closely with artisans from the hill towns of Tuscany to produce beautiful, handcrafted, custom-designed pieces. Visit mistolino.com and save 10% with code DREAMOFITALY. I'm so lucky to be here on the most perfect summer day here in Montefollonico, which is the home to Tuscan Women Cook. And I'm here with one of the co-owners, Coleen Kirnan. Mm-hmm. Coleen, how did this happen for you? How did you come to run a cooking school in Tuscany?
Well, I like to say I hit the lottery because that's exactly what happened. And we're so happy to have you here, Kathy. It is a beautiful day. If you could see what we're seeing right now, you would just swoon. So
there's vineyards and
the birds are singing,
flowers,
yes,
poppies, and we will put photos on dreamofitaly.com/podcast on the show notes for this episode, so that you can see what it really is like.
It is, and photos sometimes don't even do it justice. It's to be here is really the ultimate experience. So we're just thrilled, and again, I was in the commercial real estate world for 30 years, and Rhonda was also in the corporate world, and we met through a mutual friend, and it was real kismet. The owners of the company were ready to sell, and he had gotten sick, so they chose us to take on the legacy, and we're just absolutely so grateful for this opportunity. We've been doing this in our little village of Montefollonico for many years now, and just couldn't be happier with our relationships that have grown here. And Tuscan Women Cook has been here for almost 20 years, just in this little village of Montefollonico. So our nonnies teach our classes. They teach us the authentic recipes that have been handed down from their nonnies, and their children are making it, and we get the opportunity to send these recipes out into the world. And our guests come from all over the world, and we're just so grateful to be able to be part of this community. We go to their baptisms. We're really enmeshed in the community. Our trip is a very authentic experience. It's not. There's many cooking schools in Italy and even in Tuscany.
That is true.
Many.
Yeah.
This is the really true, authentic immersion experience. Even our nonnas don't speak English. We need a translator. If you're kneading the dough, Kathy saw it today. If you're kneading the dough a little bit differently, she'll slap your hand and say, no, this way, because they really want you to get it right, because it's been handed down from hundreds of years, and simple recipes.
Today we're making panzanella, gnocchi.
Today is a fabulous day. We're outside. We have our station here. They've set it up for us. Our first recipe that we make is panzanella, and this is a traditional Tuscan campagna, which is a countryside meal that the farmers they'd come in during the day. It's a fresh lunch for them, where we use day-old bread. If you remember, Kathy, you know this, that in Tuscany is traditionally a very poor region. So what they've learned to do is to make the most out of what they have in their homes. You can make pasta for 15 people with a little bit of flour, maybe one egg, and a potato. And you can feed 15 people, which is what we're doing today when we make our gnocchi. So we're making a panzanella, which is a bread-based tomato, basil, a little bit of onion, some olive oil, salt and pepper. That's it. Very simple. The freshest ingredients you can find. They're coming from the land. And then our gnocchi is the same thing. A potato, it's a potato and flour and egg, and we're feeding 15 people. And then we make a riccia, a cookie today, which is a traditional Christmas cookie. Very simple again. And then interspersed, our winery here is just so lovely and generous with us. In between the recipes and meals that we're making, they've created a scacciata, which is a traditional baked fried bread that we eat with the cold cuts. It's extremely delicious. And other cold cuts and cheeses and jams interspersed with the about 8 wines that we
And that's what
taste
you're
here.
hearing. We're at an active, popular vineyard here, right, in Montefollonico.
Yes, and they do a private class for us. So what you're hearing, the activity, is just our group.
I think it's all the wine.
There's
So how
very
many
generous.
different nonni or grandmothers do your guests meet in a week?
Well, if you go to our website, which is obviously www.TuscanWomenCook.com, you can see the history of our nonni. Some of them have retired, and some of them have passed. But we have every day, we cook every day, and in the mornings we cook with our nonni, and then we eat what we've made that morning, and paired with wines of the region. And then in the afternoons we tour this beautiful Tuscan countryside. We go to UNESCO World Heritage Sites. We visit Siena. We visit Pienza. We go to Montepulciano. And we go to Vinsanto Makers. We're very busy week, and we're just thrilled to be here. And when we go into the restaurants and the stores, these are our friends. So these are friends of ours. They know our children. They know my husband, our husbands. So Rhonda and I feel really blessed to be able to be part of the community.
And what do you think your guests learn or take away at the end of the week, besides some new recipes?
This is really the best part of this whole experience, is they've made a lot of friends. So they learn not only these recipes that they'll make, and of course we give them all the recipes, and we have notes, and many of our guests send us their photos of what they've done with their families, their own families. This is going on all over the world, which is that is gratifying. But our guests make friends for life. We have friends. Just last week too, they traveled to Monte Carlo together, it's on a spur of the moment. We have people that end up being friends and traveling on or going to one another's homes. So this is just something that makes us feel so grateful.
And what is it about this corner of Tuscany? Because, of course, you say Tuscany, people love Tuscany, but Tuscany is 1,000, different towns, and each one is so different. And I do think Montefollonico, I do think it is in one of the most gorgeous corners of the world, really.
It's one of those things, Kathy, that we kind of don't want to tell anybody because our groups are very small. But Montefollonico is unique in that there's no tour buses. We're off the beaten path. And it's just a lot of rich relationships. If you know of Montefollonico, then you know of it. If you don't, it's really not on the radar for a lot of people. And we'd like to kind of keep it like that because our groups are small. But you're right. It is just absolutely, we're centrally located too, so it's a great place to stop and then go. You can get to Siena very easily, Montepulciano. You can be on either coast via train very easily, a couple hours.
And are these recipes simple, or tell me about not just today, but all of the group of things that you're making?
Our recipes are very simple. What we try to do is, I don't know about you, but when I was first learning how to cook, pasta was extremely intimidating, right? So we just really want to make pasta something that's accessible to everybody, in homemade pasta and homemade sauces that you can do. And our nonni teach us how to do this in a very simple way with very fresh, simple ingredients. So I think the takeaway is this. I mean, these recipes, most of them are less than 5 ingredients. So it's not French cooking. We're not reducing a lot of sauces other than our sugo, which we'll cook for several hours, 5 to 6 hours. But in general, they are very simple but delicious and straight from the heart.
Are there ingredients that are surprising? Because today, for instance, we're using, I think it's the essence of almonds.
See. So the essence we use in the Laurella cookie, and there's Amazon now. I don't know, you can probably find things anywhere, but this essence of almond we get in our little market here, it's a much more potent, it's not an extract. So the essence is a different flavor that you're going to get out of anything: vanilla, almond, orange, lemon. So the essence, it's really shines through in these recipes.
Are there any other ingredients throughout the week?
Well, flour.
Yeah.
Our flour is the biggest thing we use with the pasta. And then people ask us, there's 00, all-purpose. This comes up a lot. We generally find that the all-purpose works really well. And then once you start making pasta, you learn it to do it your way. Our nonni teach us to do it in the volcano with the eggs, and you incorporate all the way through. But at the end of the week, a surprise for our guests is, look, you can put it in the Cuisinart, and you can let it rest and roll it out, and it's just as delicious. So we want you to be able to take this home and do it at home and not be intimidated, and make it part of your life and your daily, not daily obviously, but weekly or even monthly meal where your kids and your family and your friends are expecting you to make some fresh pasta sometimes.
So I have a funny question. When you do the volcano, as we call it, do you do it right? Do your guests do it right on the board?
See.
So this is a funny story. Tuscan Women Cook is obviously a sponsor of Dream of Italy, or the Dream of Italy Tuscan Sun Special. And I've been coming to Italy for more than 20 years. I've been doing cooking lessons. I've done cooking lessons on TV. But on the show, I do a cooking lesson with Michelin star chef Sylvia Baracchi.
Oh, yeah.
And she gave me a bowl for the volcano. And I'm like, this is life-changing.
Right?
Because I'm always making a mess. I'm not really a professional.
And some of our nonni use the bowl. Some don't. Some wouldn't be cut.
I was about to
using
say,
a
for
bowl.
many, it's
Yeah.
sacrilege.
Yeah,
but
it
it's
is.
just interesting that even if you have done this many times, have had other cooking class experiences, you always have a different experience,
Yeah, it is.
especially with a different chef.
And there's little things, the little takeaways that are so subtle. We use a dry grill for vegetables. There's little things when you come to our program at Tuscan Women Cook, there's these takeaways that are subtle, but will stay with you forever.
Yeah. So today we're cooking with Laurella. I guess, is she a nonni?
Oh, yeah. Laurella is one of our favorite nonni, and she has a wonderful family. She's Montefollonico through and through, and she is one of our favorite nonni because we have an interpreter in every class, and Laurella is a woman of few words. However, her words are very forte. She's very strong with her words because she really wants you to understand why you're doing something wrong. So,
Not just that you're doing something
Yes.
wrong.
and how to do it right. Yeah. You have to eat it.
Yeah, you have to eat it. Okay.
The whole bottle.
Whole bottle of water. Then, in this, how you call this?
Bag.
Bag. You have a dry bread. Take it out and put it inside the water. All. And dip it.
Mi chiamo Laurella, abito a
So
Torrita
so
di
my
Siena.
name is Laurella. I live in Torrita di Siena.
Niente, ho 2 figli,
I have
2
two
bellissimi
children.
nipoti.
So they are adults because they have children. So you have grandchildren. Sorry. Okay, she has grandchildren too. So they are grown up. Her children.
How
sorry.
many grandchildren?
Quanti? Due.
2,
Two
Due?
two grandchildren.
2 figli e 2 nipoti.
2 daughters and 2 grandchildren, so 2 boys. 2 ragazzi, no? 2 bambini.
Nipoti?
Nipoti, ma
Maschio
maschi.
e femmina.
Ah, ok, no, it's a boy and a girl.
And how did she learn to cook? Who did she learn from?
E com'è che hai imparato a cucinare?
Mi è sempre piaciuto fin da piccola, diciamo, poi ho sempre
When she was
cucinato
a
in
child, she always
casa,
enjoyed to
poi
cook, and so
niente.
at home she has always to cook.
Ho cucinato per la famiglia, per gli amici,
So she has been cooking for the
poi
family,
da
for
una passione è
friends.
diventato un lavoro,
So from a
diciamo,
passion, it
che
has become a job.
Is there a dish that she remembers from her childhood that she loved to cook?
Allora, c'è un piatto della tua infanzia che ti piace ancora cucinare, che ti piace, ti ha appassionato di più, ti è piaciuto?
le lasagne.
Ok. Lasagne, that here in Tuscany we call them pasta al forno.
Sì.
That's her favorite dish.
And what is her secret for it?
E qual è il tuo segreto per fare le lasagne?
Beh, facciamo la pasta fatta stesa a mano con il mattarello,
So
la
she makes
stendiamo.
the pasta handmade, so with the rolling pin, using the rolling pin.
besciamella, perché la
Then she-
besciamella va fatta abbastanza
She
liquida.
makes
che
her own
viene più
bechamel
buona.
sauce.
Formaggio, poi sugo, un
Cheese,
buon sugo,
A
diciamo.
good meat sauce. Here in Tuscany we call it sugo, not a ragu.
Is there ever, even if it has meat sauce, even if it has meat in it, you call it sugo?
Yes. We call it here when we are talking about sugo. We are talking about meat sauce, about ragu.
So how long has she been teaching?
Da quanto tempo insegni, fai corsi di cucina?
Saranno una decina d'anni che le faccio qui con loro.
10 years.
What is Tuscan food famous for? Is the cucina povera, or if she could explain a little bit of that?
Allora lei ti chiede che cosa, cioè di parlare un po' della cucina toscana come cucina povera, insomma di capire di che cosa si tratta.
La cucina povera, dunque, diciamo che io, insomma, quando c'erano la nonna, quando c'erano gli antenati, abbiamo sempre
Ma parlare anche
cucinato.
di ingredienti, le cose.
Sì, allora che ti posso dire, facevamo pasta e fagioli, magari erano cucina povera, buona, era poi...
Sugo un po' meno, vero?
Sì, il sugo allora lo usavamo un po' meno, magari una volta a settimana, non è che era tanto
Well, in the poor
abituale.
cooking, for example, we wouldn't have the sugo, the meat sauce every day. We would have just once a week or every 15 days. So we have been using also poor ingredients like beans, vegetables. We have learned to recycle food. For example, we don't throw bread. We use stale bread, which is still good. It's just dry, and we make soup with that. We make vegetable fresh salads like the panzanella, for example, and so on.
Can you tell me about the panzanella and how that's made and how often she eats it?
Allora lei ti chiede come si fa la panzanella e quanto spesso la mangi.
Si usano, la panzanella ora magari si usa meno, si fa meno, però prima, diciamo, quando c'era il pane avanzato, magari il pane fatto in casa, che veniva anche molto più buona, era più... in estate molto spesso la facevamo, sì. Non è che...
Okay, she's saying that panzanella in the past was made much more often than now, even because even the quality of the ingredients were much better. Because, for example, we wouldn't use bought bread, but we would make our own bread. So even if the bread was leftover, it was stale, not moldy, but still good. It was still a higher quality of bread. And especially when people were working in the fields, it was a very popular dish because it was a light dish and very simple to make it.
And what about the gnocchi? What role does that have in Tuscan food? How popular is that?
Lei dice, per esempio, gli gnocchi sono in Toscana sono utilizzati molto, oppure secondo te
Sì,
non più
sono
di tanto?
specialmente di questo periodo, diciamo, che quando stiamo...
Especially in this period when we are...
Sì, che noi abitiamo in campagna e
we live in the country. My family lives in the countryside.
seminiamo le patate, c'è la
So we sow
raccolta delle patate
our
ora.
potatoes. We harvest
E
our potatoes.
con le patate nuove
So with the new potatoes,
facciamo molto gli gnocchi
so
ora, sì.
we make gnocchi very often, especially in this
Le
period of the
usiamo anche
year.
in inverno sempre, però
We
ora
use
in
them
questo
even in winter,
periodo
but
un po' di
especially
più.
now we make them much more often.
Now we're making gnocchi.
Okay, she is going to show you how to. This is another very old tradition, because in the past they were so poor that they have only potatoes and flour in the kitchen, and they made this dish that is called gnocchi. Gnocchi is made with potatoes. We use red potatoes because the consistency of this kind of potatoes is more useful to prepare the potatoes, the gnocchi. Sorry. Yeah, cut it in half and put it in your razor and scratch it. Okay, we use now 1 potatoes most per person because now you're going to see how many gnocchi you're going to have, a lot. But consider that for 1 kilogram, that are 2.2 pounds of potatoes, we add 1 kilogram of flour, most, and 1 egg, 1 whole egg, salt and pepper. Now you're going to have 1 potatoes, 1 spoon of egg, some flour. It depends how much the potato needs to be work it. Salt and pepper. That's it. With 1 kilograms of potatoes, you can feed 10 people. 10 people. 1 spoon of egg.
Versiamo le patate.
You put the potatoes on the cutting board. On your cutting board, put some flour on your cutting board, like she does.
Impastiamo con le mani.
And then you put your potatoes on your cutting board and you start to work it with your hand. You have to add the flour as soon you see that your potato have incorporated all the flour. And then when the cutting board is sticky, you add the flour on your cutting board and like she does, like this way. You have to fold the potatoes, not crush it like this. Look, not like this with the hand. You have to fold. Take on the top and fold the potatoes. Okay. With your hand, how you call this part of the hand? Palm. Palm. Now, she's going to pass one by one. She's going to let you taste what she did. In front of you, you have your bowl you have done your bowl of potato. Now, this bowl, you have to cut it in 3 pieces. You have your knife and you cut in 3 pieces. And take 1 piece in your hand and roll it like she does. And roll it, then you put it in your cutting board and roll it like you make a piccio. Like peachy. Like peachy. And you have to make it the thicker like your finger. The thickness like your finger. Like her, like she does, like this. Okay, now she's going to pass and help you to roll it. Okay, this one is a very, very old tradition of Christmas cookies. They are burned in Siena, near Siena. Now is transported here in this part. And these ones are cookies that we make at Christmas time. They are coming from Italy? Yeah?
Lavoriamo
Where?
con le mani, poi
Oh, Roma.
lavoriamo con le mani.
Now
Dobbiamo fare una pallina.
You have to work it with your hand and you have to make a ball. Now we are going to make the shape of the ricciarello.
Facciamo il ricciarello così, mettiamo la pallina fra le dita.
We put this little ball in between these two fingers and we crash a little bit on the top, and with the other two fingers you crash in the middle, like this.
Ecco il ricciarello.
She's going to pass through you and help you if you need help. You take aluminum pan, you cover the aluminum pan with power sugar, you add your ricciarelli on, and then you put your sugar power on the ricciarello. Yeah, like this. And then you put inside the oven 10 minutes, not more, at 170 degrees. Yeah, okay.
Sauce is so important in Italian cooking. What is the secret to her sauce? What kind of sauce does she like to make?
Allora dice, per esempio, qual è il condimento per te, insomma, più preferito, cioè salse, insomma, stiamo parlando di sughi, eccetera.
Ma per gli gnocchi o
No,
in generale?
tuo,
In
una cosa tua
generale.
personale.
Una cosa mia personale, va bene, noi usiamo parecchio il sugo al pomodoro, col basilico
we use very
fresco,
often the
questo.
tomato sauce with basil, fresh basil.
Su ragù di carne
Perché meat
usiamo
sauce, the
anche
sugo we
parecchio.
have been talking about.
Sì, il ragù con la pancetta,
Or
il formaggio,
sauce
il parmigiano.
with pancetta and cheese, parmigiano cheese.
Sì, e poi anche aglio, olio e peperoncino.
And garlic,
Aglio,
chili
olio.
and olive oil. We call
Anche
it
quello
aglio
è
olio.
buono.
Oh, that sounds
And peperoncino.
that sounds very, very good. Tell me about the ricciarelli.
Allora parla dei ricciarelli.
Ricciarelli è un tipico dolce, diciamo, di Siena,
It's
della
a
nostra
typical
provincia.
the ricciarelli is a typical cookie of this area, especially made in Siena and in the province of
È
Siena.
un dolce molto tipico
Ma
e
soprattutto per il
niente,
Natale era, no?
Sì, più che altro si usano per Natale,
Usually it has
ricciarelli,
been always a
panforte,
Christmas
tutte cose.
cookie,
Sì.
but now we make it.
È un dolce che
all
è
day
di mandorle,
around.
tutto di mandorle,
It's all
aroma di
made with it's made all of almonds, almond essence, e poi che c'è?
è zucchero e
Sugar,
farina.
eggs.
Sì, zucchero, poi ci sono le chiare dell'uovo montate
No, le
a
uova,
neve.
not the whole eggs. We use only the whites.
Le
Actually,
chiare dell'uovo montate
Sì.
a neve, sì.
Whipped
E
up.
poi basta,
white's whipped up.
non c'è.
And where does she buy her food? Where does she grow it? How does she get her
Allora,
food?
se tu compri oppure lo coltivi, insomma, fai il tuo,
Cosa?
insomma, il cibo, gli ingredienti che ti servono per cucinare.
Io ho un piccolo orto.
She has a
parecchie,
small vegetable garden.
roba, magari ecco, ce l'ho da me.
Especially in this
poi-
season, I
sì.
have the most of the vegetable.
Prima coltivavamo di più, ora anche perché
In the
sono
past,
sola
we
e
would
non
go.
ho
Ah.
più possibilità, diciamo, di farlo.
Now she lives on her own, so she's not help. Prima c'era il marito che ti.
Sì.
Before my husband helping, now he died, so I have to look after the vegetable garden on my own.
E ora comunque andiamo sempre a cercare roba genuina dal contadino, diciamo noi che sono rimasti ancora
she
nella nostra
has her vegetable
campagna.
garden, and if she can, she goes, for example, to see other farmers that might have fresh vegetables available. So she prefers to do that
Prima
instead
io
of going
allevavo anche
to.
polli, avevo
Before
anche
she would
polli,
breed
avevo tutto.
chickens,
Sì, anatre, allevavo
ducks,
conigli, tutto. avevo,
rabbits.
Sì. Prima avevo tutto da me.
Before
ora-
she had everything,
no.
so practically, yes, she
Sì.
was much more independent about food.
And what is her secret for frying zucchini flowers? How does she make those?
Allora, ha detto come fai i zucchini, fiori di zucca fritti?
Fiori di zucca fritti. Facciamo la pastella con acqua,
She makes a batter with
Frizzante.
water, sparkling water,
acqua frizzante, farina,
flour,
e sale.
and salt.
Basta. Possiamo mettere anche metà acqua e metà
Le
birra.
uova non le usi?
No,
No, she makes only flour, sparkling water, and sometimes she can add some beer.
And I'd love for her to tell us about the stracciata. How do you say it?
schiacciata.
Schiacciata?
Schiacciata.
Come
Come
si
la
fa la
facciamo?
schiacciata, sì.
La schiacciata facciamo uguale con la farina.
She makes a
Mettiamo
dough
1 chilo
with
di farina.
she uses a kilo of flour,
1 chilo di farina, 350 grammi di acqua,
350 grams of water,
14 grammi di lievito,
14 grams of yeast, brewer yeast,
200 grammi di latte,
200 grams of milk,
un bel pizzico di sale
a good pinch of
e
salt.
poi impastiamo e facciamo
And
lievitare.
then she makes a dough. She
E
starts to
facciamo,
knead.
facciamo
Ingredients.
lievitare un giorno e una notte.
Lo lasci lievitare un giorno e una notte?
Sì.
Ok.
Poi dopo, e ogni tanto però rimpasti.
Dopo
che-
5 ore tipo.
Sì, quando ti ricordi, che ne so, sì, facciamo dopo
O
4-5
un giorno
ore.
e una notte.
Sì.
Ok, she let it rise this dough for 1 day and 1 night. And from time to time she kneads again the dough.
E poi dopo le stendiamo e
delicious.
facciamo le schiacciate.
What do you like about teaching the guests who come here from far away?
Allora dice, che cosa ti piace cucinare per gli ospiti che vengono da lontano?
Magari se sono di altre regioni, cose tradizionali di noi, di qui, magari c'è il cinghiale, noi usiamo qui anche il cinghiale, cuciniamo.
Ma come lo fai?
Il cinghiale facciamo in umido.
Ok, no, arrosto? No.
No, il cinghiale no, il capriolo lo
Ma
possiamo fare
in
arrosto,
umido.
ma
So she likes to make, for example, a pot roast with boar meat.
però richiede molta lavorazione.
But it takes
il
a long
cinghiale.
time to do it because you
Dobbiamo
have to
farlo
soak it
marinare,
overnight, you have to
dobbiamo-
marinate it in wine.
Sì, quello
E
richiede
poi?
dobbiamo metterlo a marinare, farlo marinare
Sì.
con tutti gli odori, sedano,
You have to marinate
cipolla, carota, prezzemolo.
with celery, carrots,
perlomeno 24
onions, parsley for at least 24 hours.
E poi dopo lo dobbiamo risciacquare
And then you have to
tutto,
rinse it.
e lo mettiamo a cuocere
Then
di
you
nuovo
cook it
con tutti
again
gli odori di nuovo,
with all
vino,
the herbs and the
olio
wine
e
that is
acqua.
been marinating.
E poi ci vogliono 6-7 ore
And
per
then it
cuocerlo.
takes
Però è
6-7
buonissimo poi.
hours to cook it. That is very good.
È buonissimo.
So when I come back, you need to make it for me.
La prossima volta che viene
Facciamo il cinghiale.
in inverno però, perché
Sì,
in winter
quello
It's
sì,
the
è un
perfect
cibo un
dish.
pochino più...
winter
For
dish,
the
it's a winter
winter.
dish.
sì.
So is she tough when she teaches? Does she correct everybody?
Ha detto che cioè, sei molto severa oppure no quando insegni? No,
No.
No, I don't think so.
No,
No.
Okay. So grazie
Prego,
tanti.
prego,
Grazie.
grazie a te.
So we love her, and we've loved her for many, many, many years. She's been part of this family for a long time.
So it does become like a family.
It is like a family. You know what, Kathy? One of our favorite events, we host a Mother's Day luncheon at our little theater, and all the women of the village come. So we want to honor. It's Tuscan Women Cook, right? So we want to honor the women of the village. It is the most. The word, I don't have the words for it, but I will start to cry. To see them, and they're 80, 90. We had a 98-year-old this in May, and for Mother's Day, on Mother's Day in the theater. And the husbands come out and serve the food, and everyone's there to honor just them, just the women, and they've never done that before. So it's really, we just feel so honored to be able to be hosting that for them and giving back to this community who gives so much to us.
Well, what is it about the women in Italian culture?
Somewhere along, it's the neck that turns the head. They have a graciousness about them, but a steel spine. I have seen women walking, take a passeggiata, which is every afternoon at approximately 4 o'clock. people walk, and they are walking in their up and down these hills. You're here in these hills are not any small thing. And every day religiously, they will take a walk on things that you and I would be huffing and puffing, and 80, 90, 100 years old, every single day doing it with a smile on their face and appreciating where they are. They have a great life here, and they know it, and you can see it, and they say it. We have a great life. We love it. So.
I think it's not only the physical strength, the emotional strength, and the women are the center of, even if they're not in the out front, the center of the family. And obviously that's true all over the world, but there really is something about Italian women.
It is one of our churches that in our village here is one of the oldest churches in Tuscany, Santa Bartolomeo, and it's a decommissioned church now, and it's a beautiful ceramic shop. But overhead, there's a symbol of a woman, and it's really something interesting to see. But way, way back, women were the religious symbol of the world. So yeah. I think Italy has this going back before any type of organized religion. So they would appreciate the fertility of women and the productivity of women.
And not only is it the women, but the food that brings people together, or Italians together.
A tavola, come to the table, come now. This is something that you feed people with love through food. And I think the Italian women do that the best. They are just il migliore. They're the best at providing love and food to people.
Well, thank you so much for letting me cook with you today.
So glad you could be here. What a beautiful day. Oh, it's just, can't describe it.
I learned a few tips, especially the fried zucchinis, the fried zucchini flowers.
Zucchini flowers.
To use sparkling water or beer in the batter, or both.
Another thing, I don't know if you learned this, but in the zucchini flower, the flower is the male of the fruit. So the female produces... Again, the female produces the actual zucchini that we eat, and the male produces the flower.
Very interesting.
As in nature.
Given the theme today. Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you, Kathy.
For show notes on this episode, visit dreamofitaly.com/4. Thank you to our podcast sponsors. Thanks, Fruits and Passion Cucina. These olive oil-based elevated kitchen products are biodegradable, eco-friendly, and never tested on animals. Save 15% at fruitsandpassion.com with the promo code DreamOfItaly15. And thanks again to Mistolino. They offer luxury European bedding and high-quality Italian ceramics. Family run for more than 25 years, the owners work closely with artisans from the hill towns of Tuscany to produce beautiful, handcrafted, custom-designed pieces. Visit mistolino.com and save 10% with code Dream of Italy. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dream of Italy podcast on Apple Podcasts and leave us a review. For more about all of our podcast episodes and to give us feedback on what you would like to hear in the future, visit dreamofitaly.com/podcast. And for all things Dream of Italy, the award-winning travel publication, membership website, TV show, and travel planning service, visit dreamofitaly.com. Ciao!